Well, we have a fun show today, folks. We're going to be talking about Nintendo and I guess what you would call their little faux pas with the Nintendo Switch 2. Yesterday on the channel, we of course talked about how some Nintendo Switch 2 systems were out in the wild. Somebody made a video of a very brief unboxing of it, but now more people have gotten their hands on the system and are showing off more things, and well, Nintendo's pissed. There's really no other way to put it other than Nintendo is definitely not happy about this situation, and they are doing things to try and course correct this situation. We also have a Pokemon related update to talk about, so lots of fun stuff. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But before we get into all that good stuff, I want to give a huge thank you to today's video sponsor, Sega. The critically acclaimed origin story of the Yakuza series is back, and it's better than ever. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut will be launching on the Nintendo Switch on June 5th launch day, packed with new features and running smoother than ever. Step into 1988 Japan in an action-packed crime drama that's widely considered one of the best stories in gaming. Explore faithfully recreated Tokyo and Osaka red light districts so detailed you'll swear you have been there before. Switch between 6 unique fighting styles, unleash jaw-dropping heat actions, and dominate the streets with anything you can pick up: traffic cones, bicycles, even signs. And when you need a break, there's karaoke, disco dancing, bowling, arcades, and so much more. And the Nintendo Switch 2 version of this game is the ultimate version. Over 25 minutes of brand new cutscenes, English voiceover for the first time ever, plus French, Italian, German, and Spanish tech support. And there's a brand new mode called Red Light Raid Mode, an online co-op experience with 60 unlockable characters, 6 locations, and challenge missions that you can either tackle solo or with friends. Whether you're playing docked in glorious 4K or on the go at 60 frames per second, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut looks and plays better than ever. So be sure to check out Yakuza 0 Director's Cut on June 5th alongside of the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Come for the fists, stay for the karaoke. All right, so my relationship with Pokemon is not the best, to be honest with you. I used to love it when I was younger. You know, there's been some highlight games. There's been lots of low light games, lots of quality issues with Pokemon as of recently. I did enjoy new Pokemon Snap. I did enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus, but the new game that's coming out, I don't really like what I'm seeing from it. I know that there are gameplay improvements and whatnot, but when you look at the game, it just doesn't scream like high quality to me. Now, if you're a diehard Pokemon fan, I am sorry if I offended you, but that's just my personal opinion on the subject matter. Well, we actually have some new information on Pokemon, including a release date for Legends Z-A, including the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game. So Pokemon Legends Z-A will be releasing on October 16th of 2025, with pre-orders beginning on the day the Switch 2 comes out. They're also going to be doing a Pokemon Presents presentation for the latest news and updates from the world of Pokemon. So probably like 3 or 4 minutes of games, and then like 15 to 20 minutes about like cards and plushies and Pokemon stores and stuff like that. But it is interesting that they are doing a Pokemon Presents presentation in July, for July 22nd, and they're kind of already talking about it. I do feel like it is a bit kind of early for that to be happening, but you know, it is what it is. Of course, there will be a $10 upgrade path if you want to get the Switch 1 version and then upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game. So more than likely $60 for the Switch 1 version, $70 for the Switch 2 version. And I mean, you know, like the Switch 2 edition has better graphics and better frame rate, which, I mean, it definitely should. Of course, these Pokemon games aren't exactly visually taxing in order to present an image to you onto the screen, but I just find it very interesting that, like, I don't know, like people are still just like, yes, this is going to be great. And it's like, is it? Like, I don't know, man. I'll wait for reviews and stuff like that. Like I said, I really liked Legends Arceus. I thought it was a fun departure. I really liked what they did with that game. I like the world that they crafted as well. But maybe, you know, Pokemon and I have just drifted apart. It's kind of like a marriage, you know? You start getting tired of certain things, and then if the people don't fix the thing that you're getting annoyed with and you've made it an issue, you've said, hey, I want you to fix this sort of thing, and then they don't do it. It's like, well, why are you sticking around, bro? Like, what are you doing? You got one life to live. If they're not willing to make changes to make you happy and keep you happy in the relationship, you got to get out of there, partner. life advice with RGT. But let me know in the comments section down below. Are you excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus Z-A on either the Switch 1 or the Switch 2? And if so, why are you excited for it? Because I'm genuinely curious as to your thought process. What's this? A bonus topic as well? I forgot that I wanted to talk about this, and I remembered as I was making this video, so I'm going to throw it in here now as well. So this video may end up being quite a lengthy video, but there's a lot of things to talk about. So Summer Games Fest is, of course, happening very soon. I think it's on June 6th. I think that's when Summer Games Fest starts. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. We do know this is Jeff Keighley's little showcase. Kojima's going to be there, of course, because, you know, you can't keep those two separated for any real length of time. Hi, Jeff. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. I've kind of given up on her shows. I did not watch the Game Awards last year, but maybe I'll tune in to Summer Games Fest. But there's something very interesting with Summer Games Fest that has people kind of questioning things. So basically, Jeff is talking about, we're proud to welcome a record-setting 60-plus partners for Summer Game Fest 2025, a global celebration of video games in Los Angeles this June. Oh, L.A. cesspool. So you see the partners here. Partners round 1. I guess there's going to be multiple rounds because we got to, you know, get as much money out of these companies as we can. Shout out to Jeff, man. Jeff, let me get a mill. Like, let me just get a mill, and I will never make fun of you again. 1047 Games, 2K, 505. The list goes on and on. You've got Atari, Bandai Namco. I mean, there are some interesting companies here that are listed because of the fact that, I mean, even Sega's in there. You know, I love Sega. Yacht Club Games. Maybe Celio will pop up in there. But there's one thing that's very interesting, and that is a Nintendo Switch 2 logo. And so now people are of the mindset that this is going to be the first time that Nintendo is going to be at Summer Games Fest because of the Nintendo Switch 2 logo. But I'm not quite sure about that. Like, you have PlayStation that's going to be there, you have Xbox that's going to be there, and it's not signifying what console is going to be there. It's not signifying, oh, you know, we're going to be showing Xbox Series S and X games. It's not showing that we're going to be showing PlayStation 4 and 5 games. So I almost think, and I'm basing this on really just the eye test with this, I almost think that this is Jeff's way of getting people excited for Nintendo Switch 2 stuff at this event, but Nintendo themselves are not going to be there because wouldn't it just be a Nintendo logo? Like, to me, this is like a way to say, oh yeah, there's going to be third-party Nintendo Switch 2 games that are at this showcase that, you know, we're going to be unveiling or we're going to be having new trailers or something for. I'm not 100% sold that this is confirmation that Nintendo is going to be there because, like I said, they've never been to Summer Games Fest. They haven't been at the Game Awards in quite a while. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll do an advertisement for the Switch 2 because of the timing of the event, but is that them really, you know, giving you something new or giving you something different for this showcase? I don't know. Basically what I'm saying is I don't know. I mean, really, that's what I'm saying. I see so many people just jumping the gun saying, oh yeah, Nintendo's for sure at Summer Games Fest. And I'm like, are they? Because I don't know. It's just weird to me. What do you think, though? Because, you know, like I said, there are people that think it's definitely going to be first-party Nintendo that's there. Some people think it's going to be third-party stuff. I've talked to some individuals, you know, varying opinions. Let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below. And our final topic, boy, oh boy, Nintendo is not happy. So yesterday, we, of course, talked about the Nintendo Switch 2 getting out there into the wild because, of course it is. You know, retailers, Best Buy, Target, they have these systems in these stores. So someone along the way is going to get their greasy mitts on one of these. It seems like people overseas are the ones that are actually managing to get their hands on a system early. But in yesterday's video, we, of course, talked about that somebody uploaded a video of a brief unboxing. And after that, people were like, hey, we want to see more. We want to see more. And there was a day one patch for the system that would not allow them to basically play anything either offline or online. And I talked about that and gave reasons as to why I thought that was peculiar and, you know, just a weird kind of decision to make. And I saw so many people on like Twitter and stuff like that saying, oh, well, it's good. Now we don't have to worry about leaks on all these leaks and stuff like that. I'm glad there's not going to be any leaks. And to that I say, leaks of what? What are you talking about? A leak A leak of what? Like there's nothing really to leak unless there's just some major surprise with the Nintendo Switch 2 when you boot it up. Like Mario comes out of like the shower or something and he's like, "Hey paisanos, what's good in the hood?" You know, like there's not going to be any sort of big surprise to it. And I feel like it's just kind of a weird thing for Nintendo to do. You get mad at the store for selling it early. That's one thing, but this is something that always tends to happen with systems. And, I don't know. I still don't really fully understand the mindset of why having a day one patch in order to quote unquote unlock the system that you have to, access online is a good thing. If you think that way though, that's fine, but you're not going to convince me otherwise. But what was interesting about the initial video is that video was taken down, and some people thought that it was taken down by the individual, but it turns out that was not the case. A company called WebCapio actually took down that video, and then today there was more from the Nintendo Switch 2. And by today, I mean on Wednesday, because I'm filming this Wednesday night. Basically, what ended up happening was somebody got their hands on a Nintendo Switch 2 and actually did a boot up of the system. Now, of course, they aren't able to play any sort of games or anything like that, but what they were able to do is basically turn on the system. The system pops up the Nintendo Switch 2 logo, makes a little clicky sound, and then you're in the menu. And then that's it. Like that was all the video showed. Well, that video also got taken down, and I'm going to give you a guess at who took it down. WebCapio. So I got to thinking, like, who is WebCapio? Like, is this just some random rogue individual trying to take down videos, or like what's kind of behind this? And if you look it up online, WebCapio is actually an anti-piracy company that Nintendo has actually worked with before in the past. So essentially what Nintendo is doing is they are striking down videos showcasing anything involving the Nintendo Switch 2. Now I know what you're going to say. Well, RGT, you shouldn't have the system early. Okay, let's talk about that once again, because I always have to think about it from different sorts of perspectives. If they had signed an embargo or something like that, then sure, yeah, they have to abide by the embargo per Nintendo's rules. But if somebody gets a system out in the wild, they haven't signed any sort of embargoes. It's not like it's an illegal product. They just got the product earlier than what was anticipated. You got to remember, sometimes these companies, Amazon, Target, Best Buy, they actually ship the systems early, and people end up getting the systems like a day or two early. So what about those people? If those people were to take to the internet and be like, "Hey, look at this, I got the Switch 2 early because my Best Buy pre-order shipped early," is Nintendo going to come along and like take down their images or their videos on something like that? Like, can you only upload on the day of release? What if you live in a different region or something like that? Like, it's just a weird kind of situation to me. And I understand that Nintendo does have to get the systems to retailers in a somewhat timely manner, but I also don't think it's like necessarily worth like taking down these videos that are popping up, because more videos are going to pop up, and there's not really anything that's being shown that hasn't been shown before or isn't known about. So what are you trying to protect here? I get it, you're trying to protect your IP, blah blah blah, but literally opening up a box and showing a system is not doing any damage. Turning on a system and showing the little boot up screen for 2 seconds isn't doing any damage. I don't know. And I know that PlayStation has done weird things like that before. People that talked about the PlayStation 4 Slim, they talked about a website article, and like PlayStation took down videos based on that. And it's just, I don't, so Nintendo isn't the only company that does stuff like that from time to time, but I don't get the point. Like, I guess that's my main thing. I don't get the point of what you're trying to hide and what you're trying to protect with this. Like, yeah, people are going to get stuff early. Like, it happens. It can happen from a retailer who accidentally sends someone a system early, or it gets there sooner than anticipated. So I don't know. They're super pissed though. They're using this third-party company, WebCapio, to take down people's videos because they dared to open up a Nintendo Switch 2 box. Like, man, oh man. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me, but I'm sure there will be people in the comment section that are like, "This is fine. I'm glad Nintendo did this." And okay, you're allowed to feel that way. But once again, you're not going to change my opinion on it. But let me know in the comments section down below, how are we feeling about all this? Are you excited for Pokemon Legends ZA? Do you think Nintendo is going to be at Summer Games Fest? Because I'm not quite sure. And what do you think about this situation with the Nintendo taking down these little videos? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think that, like I said, I just don't get it. You're not even you can't even show games. You're literally just showing like opening a box, like weird stuff to me. I don't know, very weird. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Shout outs to Sega for sponsoring today's video. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut comes out on Nintendo Switch 2 launch day. I will be purchasing that game because it looks really cool. Later.